afternoon, good evening, good morning.
Happy
Wherever you are out in the world, what's going on, man? What's going on, y'all?
early Thanksgiving to those who celebrate.
Yes, sir.
One of my favorite holidays. No, my favorite holiday.
Is it your favorite? Confirmed?
I mean, it's you just the job is to watch football and drink.
Yeah, I can't.
And
I can't
food
hate on
eventually shows up. Food is eventually involved. But no, it's an elite holiday. So anybody who celebrates or partakes, happy early Thanksgiving. Which means there could be a little extra start-sit help in this stream in the event that you've got players going on Thanksgiving, because instead of one game on Thursday, there's 3.
Yeah, we always answer any question that comes across our chat, but yeah, I expect there to be a few more
There might be a little bit more
start-sits. Yep.
Yeah, which we can absolutely take. Obviously, it's much more in play today, given the 2 extra games on Thursday. But yeah, let's get right into this. Hopefully, we helped win any matchups on Sunday. I think we got
a few things right. We got a few things right, a few things wrong as always. But I do think we got more right than we got wrong, which is
I think we did. I think we did okay this week.
Yep.
I think we did all right. If we blew it, let us know though.
We blew it on Zach Ertz. I'm just straight outright. We blew it on Zach Ertz. I know there was one person towards the end of the stream that we had on Sunday who asked about Zach Ertz, and we said probably not the best week to be starting him, and we were wrong on that.
Whoops.
We were very wrong on that. Yep.
Crap. Okay. Well, we got some other things correct, so I'll hang my hat on that.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, D Money? What's going on, Matt? What's going on, AM?
Everybody?
R Gordon? What's going on? You need us to make sense of this waiving of AP. Who's the back to own in Tennessee now? Well, I think you got. I think Nick is of the same opinion on this whole situation as Matt is, right below you. Because we were talking about this a little bit off stream. And I guess the back to own would be Donta Foreman.
I guess.
By default. Because he's going to get all the work. But there might not be a back to really seek out.
Well, he's not going to get the pass catching work. He's not going to get the pass catching work. That's either going to be McNichols or Hilliard, whoever's healthy. So he's not going to get all of the work.
Dontrell Hilliard? Is that who you're saying, William Risky?
Dontrell, practice squad hero Hilliard.
Could be. We've seen stranger things this season.
Yeah, that seems to be that's the trend these days. Practice squad guys get elevated, activated to the 53, and then they produce. I'm not sure that there is a back to yes, Hilliard will get the early down work in PPR leagues. He's devalued. If Jeremy McNichols can go, he might be an interesting pass catching guy. If he can't, Dontrell Hilliard will take that role. What's the deal? Is Darrington Evans done for the season?
Yes.
Yeah, he's done for the season. Okay, so
Yep.
he can't come back.
No.
So, yeah, it's going to be a hodgepodge collection of whatever. With Foreman, McNichols, and Hilliard, it's going to be difficult to predict. I would say if you are not in pressing need of making a waiver claim and Donta Foreman was going to be your drop this week, then maybe hang on to him. But they're going on the road against New England, and then it's their bye week. So none of these guys are startable this week.
No, I wouldn't believe so. That offense looked terrible last game.
Yup.
That's not something I'm chasing. I mean, they signed Golden Tate to their practice squad. I'm sure he's going to be elevated soon out of necessity again.
I think that spells bad news for AJ Brown.
I think that spells bad news for the entire offense moving forward.
Probably,
if they're signing
Julio's
Golden
already
Tate.
out.
But yeah.
I think it's bad news for AJ Brown. Although apparently he avoided serious injury, but holy hell, is he frustrating.
That could still mean that he's out 2 to 3 weeks. Just because he's avoided serious injury, that's great. He could still be out 2 to 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for a team that's in the hunt in the playoffs, yeah, this does not look good.
But yeah, D-Mon, I mean, I guess if you're looking to grab one of these three guys, I guess Foreman, if you're in a PPR league, it's kind of hard to tell because McNichols is dealing with a concussion. Like, did Hilliard take his job last week, or is McNichols going to go back to being the pass catching guy when healthy? Hard to say. So we got to see how this shakes out. Foreman is obviously the favorite for the most work, but that doesn't mean that he's worth an ad depending on who it is that you would be dropping to get him.
Yeah.
It's just kind of it's all gross. So yeah, Matt, I kind of agree with you. I don't really think there is not a back that you absolutely need to own from Tennessee.
AM, what's going on? Should I start Claypool or Shepard or T. Higgins and or Claypool?
Claypool came to life Sunday night. That was nice to see on his first long catch. If Roethlisberger could throw deep for anything,
well, that's always been the
touchdown.
case. I feel like that's been the case all season. It's not that Claypool's been bad. It's just that his skill set does not mesh with what Ben Roethlisberger can do on a week in, week out basis. Yeah.
So, I mean, between Claypool and Shepard, I'm playing Claypool because
I'm
even
going
if
Claypool
Shepard,
there too. Yep.
Even if Shepard plays, I mean, it's his first game back in multiple weeks.
And everybody else is now healthy there. You got a healthy Kenny Golladay. You got a healthy Kadarius Toney. They made it through that game healthy. I know their coaching staff did not.
Well, not Kyle. Well, yeah, Jason Garrett got the axe, and Kyle Rudolph exited the game early with injury. So he might. Don't know what the severity is yet, but he could be looking at a one-game absence.
So what about T. Higgins or Claypool? I know T. Higgins did not have the boom week. That was one that we were wrong on again too.
We got wrong on wrong on Higgins. Higgins fell flat.
Are you willing to go back to that well, considering the recent success that he's had outside of last game, or are you going with Claypool?
If you have to play one, the Steelers get the Bengals. They're playing each other. That's a great matchup by the numbers for Higgins. Check and see, if TJ Watt is back and Minkah Fitzpatrick is back and the Steelers have all their pieces on defense again, then I'm inclined to say, let's chase the Claypool points. But if Minkah Fitzpatrick needs to miss another game, and maybe even more importantly, TJ Watt, Pittsburgh's going to be down some pieces, and they're a favorable matchup for wide receivers this year anyway. So to that point, I would give Higgins one more week.
Okay.
But let's check the availability of some of Pittsburgh's best defensive players who did not play against the Chargers.
I mean, I agree with you on both questions there. I'm going Claypool out of Claypool versus Shepard, and I'm going Higgins out of Claypool versus Higgins, even though that is closer. That is closer.
Edge.
Yep.
But Higgins is the one who's at home. They're playing each other. Pittsburgh's the road team in this game, so slight edge to Higgins.
And you are the kicker whisperer, but you're also the person to go after when we're analyzing defenses too. So, who do you got for this defensive streaming question?
Yeah, so I did put out a pre-recorded waiver.
I mean, it's got to be anybody going against the Lions, right?
Sure.
And the Bears D is not a bad defense to chase here.
No, I like the Eagles because of their not just this game against the Giants, where Daniel Jones. Did you watch when you watched the Monday Night Football game? Do you watch the regular cast or do you watch the Manning cast?
I watch the Manning cast, man. That it's entertaining. You get insight into what they I mean, to real football knowledge and not just the announcers who hardly know anything.
They were being as nice as possible, essentially saying that Daniel Jones stinks.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones stinks. Not that Jared Goff is good either.
But we knew that.
I know.
It's nice to get some confirmation on that from people who really know what they're talking about. But yeah, no, we knew that.
I know.
It's not a surprise to me.
But I think the Eagles are good. Are a good stream this week. The Bears are good. The Bears are good, obviously, just because it's the Lions. But the Eagles have the Giants, and then I think next week they get the Jets as well.
Yes, they do, and then I believe there's a bye, but then they play the Washington football team twice, and they play the Giants again once.
The Giants again.
So they're a defense.
looking like a real good stream, not just this week, but for the rest of the season. The
I picked
Bears
them
look
up.
good this week.
I dropped the New England defense before this 33-point outing last week in fantasy. That was a mistake. I still won my matchup. I don't care.
Nice.
But because of the fact that I could pick up Philly, Philly's been putting up points. They have a great matchup moving forward, or great matchups moving forward, and the New England defense does not. Outside of what last week, they played the Tennessee Titans, which should be another high-scoring game, so you can play them for one more week. But then they got a bye week: Buffalo, Indianapolis, and Buffalo, I believe. So,
not an ideal end of season schedule.
No,
for the
I'm
Patriots.
staying away from New England and the rest of the season. I know that the senior Nick Payne was like, it said last week you can start him rest of season.
Mm-hmm. He believes in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're just a good overall unit.
They are.
That's the thing.
And Bill Belichick knows how to coach a defense. He just does.
Yeah, he does.
2 Super Bowls on as a defensive coordinator before going to the Patriots in the first place.
But of
against
these
the
options,
Bills, just throwing that out there, it was against the Bills.
There you go.
Yeah.
Of these options, maybe a slight edge to the Bears this week just because they're playing the Lions, but Philly for the rest of the season of these options.
Yeah, I like Philly a lot moving forward. Obviously,
they look
like
good.
I said, I picked them up. Yeah, we hope that answers your question, Matt. Thanks for tuning in. R. Gordon, we already went over Donta Foreman a little bit. He should have more work in the red zone moving forward. I can't say he's gonna
down touches.
All of them, right? I can't say he's gonna be getting much passing down work because, like Nick said, Jeremy McNichols will be returning sooner than later, unless the concussion is of the bad variety. Hope not.
But even if it is, Dontrell Hilliard stepped into that role,
right, and performed decently,
against the
right?
Titans. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
or against the Texans. Yeah. So Foreman's fine if you're not if you were looking to make a pick.
So low end RB2, and that I feel like that's his ceiling is mid range RB2.
Low end RB2, high maybe closer to high RB3.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to get receiving work. But
this offense isn't going to be in the red zone all that much. Let's be real.
Yeah. If you have him and you were looking to maybe drop him, maybe hold one more week if you're not like necessarily dying to make a waiver claim or waiver pickup this week. I'm not expecting like the moon though, just because Adrian Peterson got cut, not from Foreman.
No, I mean, how many touches was Adrian Peterson getting though? Around 10 a week?
Yeah, he got 10 his first game. I think he got around that same amount in the second game. So, there's work to be had that he is now, giving up. Yeah, he get 10, 8, and 9 carries.
So that puts...
And 4 targets in 3
that
games. That
theoretically puts Donta Foreman into RB1 workload territory, borderline RB1 workload territory. I will always go back to last year. It took Mike Davis 15.6 fantasy touches per game to get him to borderline RB1 status. So yeah, that's all Donta Foreman needs. I just don't know if in this offense he's gonna end up scoring all that much, which makes the difference there.
Yeah.
So yeah, mid to low end, basically RB2 until further notice. William Risky, Big Balls Bozzy, talking about Boswell.
Boswell? Yeah. I did
right
get
on
that one.
Nick was right on that.
He had a big game. You
can always trust the kicker whisperer, man.
Huge game. McPherson had 3 50-yard field goals, and that wasn't even all he did.
Looking like Justin Tucker out there.
20 fantasy. McGoatson. Yeah, so that was fun to see. Yeah, Boswell and McPherson are guys where it's like if you were streaming kickers up to this point, if one or the other is available, just play those guys. Rest of season. Both of them are past their bye weeks. Just play them.
Danny Boy YouTube, what's going on?
Danny Boy.
I traded McLaurin, Aaron Jones, and Dillon for Mike Evans and Alvin Kamara. You think I did good?
I think it's pretty even. Well,
no.
We got to see how. Well, Kamara's got to get healthy. You're saying no? You don't like it?
The addition of Dillon, I don't want to give up Dillon and Aaron Jones. I guess looking at it objectively, yeah, it depends. Yeah, I mean, you're
a healthy Kamara, makes this better. Ideally, it doesn't look like he's going to play on Thanksgiving.
McLaurin and Evans are about the same in terms of what they're giving you on Sunday. They're both wide receiver ones.
They're pretty close. Yeah, they're both.
McLaurin might be a little bit more boom bust wide receiver one, but they're both wide receiver ones. Aaron Jones and Kamara are comparable. Dillon there just kind of hurts a little bit giving up Dillon. But
Evans has been more consistent and slightly better than McLaurin this year, so for what that's worth.
And I'm sure, and Kamara's been a little bit more consistent and better than Aaron Jones has all season, correct?
Yeah, Aaron Jones has had
so
you upgraded. Yeah, I think it's fine. We just need Kamara healthy. Yeah. So you're probably not going to have him this week.
When I first looked at it, I was like, "Oh man, that's a lot to give up." But just stepping back, you upgraded at wide receiver one, probably, right? Or wide receiver
slight
two,
slight upgrade,
and RB1.
Slight upgrades in both situations.
Yeah, I like that.
Pending Kamara's health, right? We're probably not gonna. We're hoping at this point for week 13. Right, we're hoping at this point for week 13 for Kamara. I don't see.
Yeah, what's your record?
Yeah,
throw it in the chat. But I think this helps you. Now looking at it, I think this helps you. Gets you better at 2 starting spots, and you had to give up a depth piece to get there.
If you're firmly if you feel like you're in good shape to make the playoffs, then I'm good with it. We just need a healthy Kamara. That's all.
Yep. Hope he gets there. Matt, straight up disrespect to AP. I mean, he's 36, man. And
he wasn't. He's a Hall of Famer, but
he wasn't.
Everybody's got. Everyone hits the end of the road at some point.
If they were gonna keep throwing him out there, it was. I mean, just so he could maybe set another record. It wasn't so they could win games.
I think he fell just short of cracking 15K for rushing yards. So.
Yeah. Hey, I hope he gets another shot on. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Don't know that it's.
We've seen the best of AP. I think his career has run its course. Hall of Fame career. Incredible when he was on. Forgive Jonah. What's going on? Should I trade Herbert and Ayuk for Russ and Chase? Yeah. If you're getting Russ and Chase, yeah. Russ is gonna
Russ right now.
Yes, I know that, but Russell Wilson usually has a QB1 floor and a high-end QB1 ceiling, and he's 2 weeks removed from recovering from a finger injury, which affects your throwing, and he didn't look great. But we predicted a Tyler Lockett game, and it was a Tyler Lockett game. And all Russ needs to do is play against a team that's not going to shut down his wide receivers, and he's good to go. And that's a clear upgrade for wide receiver. I'd much rather have Jamar Chase than Brandon Ayuk. Though you were right about Ayuk last week as well.
Yeah, that one was, I don't remember the collection of options, but I remember looking at Ayuk and thinking to myself, I like him this week. That worked out.
No, I like that. I like that deal.
Yeah, I guess I like it. I guess I like.
You're taking a small step back at QB1, but it's still a QB1.
It's kind of a. Right now, it's a.
After last week's game, after this last week's game, yes. But if you were to look a week ago, it would have been a lot more comparable. An explosion week makes a big difference in terms of your perception of a quarterback, and he had a boom week. So if you can trade Herbert for Russ, that's selling high and buying low, and I don't think the disparity between the two is that much. You look a few weeks ago, Herbert had 2 back-to-back weeks of sub 20 weeks in this season.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know what Russell can do when he's on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Chase is a better wide receiver than Ayuk for fantasy. And that's not even close.
I would definitely rather have Chase.
Yeah, I think.
Ayuk.
Yeah, I would do that. Forgive Jonah. Would you not?
I would just caution, like, are you creating and or breaking up any stacks? Just would want to. That would be a little tidbit I would want to know. Like, do you have Herbert you'd be trading away? Do you have Keenan Allen? Do you have Mike Williams?
Or do you have Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf?
Right, or Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
That would just be what I would want to know.
But I like that trade, man. I like that trade.
Yeah. Yeah, Russ is dicey right now, but if you believe that he will get back on track, then sure.
I mean, he hasn't hit the age wall. We know he's dealing with not the best coaching and not the best talent around him.
With the worst season of his career as far as the Seahawks' chances. You know, it's not a good team. It's not a good team. It's not a good offense.
No.
The Seahawks' offense is bad this year.
Yeah.
That's all.
But all it takes is Russell Wilson to hit a hot streak to make it good again. The offense.
Yeah. No, I don't mind it because Chase
floor.
is an upgrade over Ayuk.
I like it.
All right.
Theo, what's going on? We've already said he can't be dropped, or he can be dropped, but in general, do you think Todd Gurley is ever going to play again? Hey, I never thought Devonta Freeman was ever going to play again. I never thought AP was going to play again. I wasn't sure Donta Foreman was ever going to play again. At the beginning of the season before he got picked up. There's a ton of backs out there. I mean, I never thought that Mark Ingram was going to be a sought-after piece. Look at him now on the Saints again. So no, I can't rule out that Todd Gurley is not ever going to play again. But
he's like 25, 26 years old.
No, he's 27, isn't he?
I thought he was younger than that by like a year.
And we all know about his knees.
I think he might be.
But
I think he might be.
He's 27.
Yeah, okay, fine. Sorry, he's 27. He is 27.
But we all know about his knees, his arthritic knees that he's been dealing with since like 2016.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like injuries have plagued his career.
And he was decent when he was with the Falcons last season. He was a high-end RB2 through like 8-9 games, and then he got banged up.
Well, he got a lot of touchdowns. He himself was not super efficient.
No.
As far as
you hated him last year,
football.
But he just kept James Conner-ing. He was last year's James Conner through 8 games.
I'm not sure that Todd Gurley plays again.
It's just stranger things have happened, man.
Yeah.
Especially this season, in which we've seen Le'Veon Bell continue to get work, and I know he was waived, but like earlier in the season, we were wondering, is Le'Veon Bell going to get a lion's share of work here? I mean, stranger things have happened. Running backs get injured every week. I wouldn't rule out Todd Gurley because he's the last man standing. I'm surprised he hasn't been looked at by the Titans.
I'm not. I think Todd Gurley is one of the greatest players in a like 2-year span that has ever played, but that's all we have. Like that's all. Like
I never said he was going to be effective.
That's the thing.
But he's 27 years old.
And look at all the guys that are getting opportunities ahead of him. Like you know, Adrian Peterson, Mark Ingram,
at some point
Freeman,
they could reach
Le'Veon
that part.
Bell.
At some point,
that's just it. Todd Gurley, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, but Todd Gurley is the absolute bottom of the barrel.
Yes.
It is like how many options have to be exhausted before he gets an opportunity. I don't see it.
I could see it. But I don't think he would be any sort of productive, and it would last maybe a week before the team would cut him. So
yeah, it's just I don't see how it happens. I mean, right? You already mentioned the arthritic knees.
So yeah, he can be dropped, and I think he should
we're
be
talking
dropped
about
in all formats.
This is the arthritis is a degenerative. I think I said it right the first time. Condition that where there's no treatment for this. There's not like rehab that he can do and it'll get better. Like he has.
Speaking of no
knees.
treatment for degenerative that word.
We're trying
issues. Chris Carson. I know he's getting surgery to fuse plates, but that's a degenerative issue.
Yeah, we might be looking at a career-ending situation there as well, but that's a separate topic. Yeah,
I just got to throw that out there because we're talking about you threw the word degenerative or whatever.
We're attempting to use words here.
Mm-hmm. Science.
Yep. Analysis.
That's what you come here for. Labyrinth, what's going on? Hilliard may get a larger role than we are expecting. Yeah, I believe
Maybe.
so. But
if McNichols has to miss another game,
it's not something that I'm going out and chasing in fantasy at all. I think it just detracts from everybody else in that offense right now.
In this game against New England on the road, I would prefer the pass catching. Like this specific week, I would prefer the pass catching back to Foreman, just based on the matchup. If it's McNichols, then I'd rather play McNichols. But if McNichols is out, then yeah, we might see more work for Hilliard this week. And then it's the bye week. So there's an opportunity for him to carve out a role, but I think he needs McNichols out of the lineup for that to happen. But we'll see. There's a lot to be determined in this backfield still. And none of it is like all that inspiring.
Yeah, gotta agree with you there. R. Gordon, flex Darnell Mooney or Javonte Williams. I mean, it depends if Allen Robinson's out again. Is Allen Robinson going to continue to be out? If not, then Javonte. But if Allen Robinson is out again, and
Mooney got 16 targets.
Yeah.
Allen Robinson, with his hamstring injury, remains sidelined for Tuesday's practice. Obviously, like when you play on a short week, Monday and Tuesday are pretty much like walkthroughs, but teams still put out injury reports as if they hadn't held a regular practice. So it's not looking good for Robinson. Here's the thing. Javonte Williams has a great matchup at home. The Chargers give up lots of production to running backs. They're both good plays.
What's the format? PPR, half PPR, standard?
PPR, I would go Mooney. I would even like half or standard, I would say Javonte.
And half PPR, I'm going Darnell Mooney. Especially if Allen Robinson doesn't play.
I like Mooney this week.
But in standard, I'm going Javonte. I will agree with you there. And I will agree absolutely
like Mooney,
full PPR doing Mooney.
He's super interesting, especially if Robinson has to miss. But Javonte has far and away the better matchup. The Lions actually don't give up a ton of points to, not that they have shut down corners, but they don't give up a ton of points to wide receivers.
Is that because teams don't
they can just run all over them?
Right,
so
right.
David Montgomery game.
Right, but is it because they shut them down, or is it just because game script never leads to them getting attacked downfield?
Game script.
So it's not that they
leads
can't
to
be.
teams
It's not. Yeah, I'm not. So it's not a
pass.
matchup I'm shying away from.
Teams don't need to pass against the Lions.
It's not a matchup I'm shying away from.
Like a running back against the Chargers is a matchup I'm targeting.
Yeah, in standard, sure. But in half PPR, I'm playing Darnell Mooney. So we'll see how this one goes. Write that one down.
Yeah, write this. I will write this down.
Yeah. Darnell Mooney or Javonte Williams half PPR. That's where we disagree. We had a few good disagreements on Sunday.
We did.
Yep.
You liked DJ
Dawson
Moore.
Knox, Freiermuth. I did win there.
Slightly, but yeah.
Slightly, but I did win there.
Freiermuth gave me a late touchdown to make it a lot closer.
Yep.
Argort says it's 0.75 PPR. That's interesting.
Well then, yeah, Mooney.
So Mooney.
I
mean, if the dude gets 12 targets again, He
Then
got
I
16.
almost don't care about Javonte Williams is a great matchup, and I like Javonte Williams long term. But Darnell Mooney getting 12 plus targets. I'm in any sort of PPR format, I'm going Darnell Mooney. If he's a threat to get 12 plus targets again, 16 targets,
tough.
bro.
I like Mooney a lot this week, but I like Javonte too. I like them both.
All right, we're split.
But
we agree.
I'm
but
not opposed to Mooney.
even in 0.75 PPR, you still disagree?
I don't.
You're
disagree.
still going
I'm just
Javonte?
like, am I gonna bench Javonte? Nah.
Oh, hey, you went running back once when I went wide receiver because it was standard.
That was one I got right.
Yeah. Terry
that was one I
McLaurin,
got right.
Antonio
Somebody
Gibson.
was in here and said, "Come on, man, you can't play the running or you can't play the wide receiver or the running back at standard, but you can."
Yeah, I went Antonio Gibson last week.
You went
and
Gibson. I
you
went
McLaurin, and McLaurin had a better day. So
got that one right.
I'll concede that. But I'm still
You're on.
I'm not
Mooney
budging. I don't care.
Okay.
Sorry, man. We're gonna give you a split answer on this one.
I really like Javonte. Slight edge to Javonte. Both are good. Both are good play. Let's put it this way. I don't think one is a bad play.
It just depends on your preference.
It's a personal preference, I think, at that point.
And I think it might hinge if on right before kickoff we hear that Allen Robinson is clearly out. Would that change your?
I might be more enticed, more enticed to play Mooney on Thanksgiving.
There we go.
It's
so keep that in mind and look out for any news on that. And if we see anything, we'll be sure to.
If Robinson is out, then the opportunity is in Mooney's favor, as opposed to Javonte splitting work with Melvin Gordon.
There you go.
Opportunity is in Mooney's favor.
And yeah, Matt, we agree with the whole Titans situation. Just kind of staying away. And the only player I really want long term there is AJ Brown. For this year, long term.
Who I'm not sure is a must start these days, even if healthy.
I'm not gonna go there. They were playing in a game where the weather was very bad and he got banged up. And I know he's increasingly less trustworthy, but he's still a 24-year-old wide receiver one who is a stud.
Yeah,
so I'm not starting him.
Ridiculous efficiency last year, which is not being replicated right now. That's all I'll say. Obviously, we brought this up ourselves. I don't want to get too far in the weeds on this, but that's all I'll say.
Yo, Matt Kamara is absolutely killing me. I traded for him the week he went out and he hasn't played a game for me.
What's your situation? Are you desperate for wins? I mean, let's put it this way. Regardless, don't trade Kamara. He should. I don't want to say should. We're hoping he's back week 13. It doesn't sound like he's going to play on Thanksgiving.
Nah, but yeah, what's your record, man?
But we're holding now. I would imagine the trade deadline.
He should come back and be an RB1 for you still. I know Taysom Hill just got a contract, and Taysom Hill always takes away goal line work from.
That was the stupidest contract I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was. The Saints are doing that. It's the second time they've done that with Taysom Hill.
They love
ridiculous contracts for Taysom Hill.
I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, man, I mean, we're hoping for a week 13 return for Kamara.
Yep, and he'll return to RB1 status.
If and when he comes back, he's an RB1, automatic.
Shane Tuck, what's going on? Trade Najee Harris and OBJ for Darrell Henderson and DK Metcalf. Yeah.
No.
Wouldn't you? Would you trade away Najee. OBJ to get Metcalf and Henderson?
I think Najee's Najee's an easy top 5 running back, maybe top 3 rest of season. Najee is the best player in that deal. Yes, sometimes you have a trade where side A is giving up the best player and the worst player, and side B is getting the middle guys. Sometimes that happens, and sometimes that can look good and make sense. This is a time where I want the best player in the deal.
Najee
I know
Harris.
Henderson's getting bell cow work. DK Metcalf is a wide receiver 1. But Najee Harris has top 3 upside at the position for the rest of the season.
Najee Harris is the current RB6 right now in standard, and Daryl Henderson is RB13 in standard, and in PPR, Daryl Henderson is RB14, and Najee Harris is RB4. So looking at that,
yes, Metcalf is a big upgrade over Odell. And maybe Daryl Henderson is only a slight downgrade from Najee.
It's not a slight downgrade, especially in any PPR format.
But yeah, okay, fine.
It's a downgrade. That's a 8 place downgrade. I mean, you're going from
Shane,
RB5
do you have
down to RB13, RB14. That's a big jump. And
the only way I say yes to that trade, Shane, is if you have Sony Michel. And even then, I'm like, because then you can handcuff, you can protect the Henderson acquisition. But even then, I don't want to trade Najee.
Here's the only situation in which I would do this is if you were starting Harrison OBJ beforehand. If you were starting both of them, and this is the move to equalize your starting lineup. Najee and Najee Harris is giving you 19.3 fantasy points per game on average, and Daryl Henderson is getting you 15.5.
Good.
So you got a 4-point difference there, and I think that the difference between OBJ and Metcalf is more than a 4-point difference.
Yeah, it's
so if
higher.
you are playing both of those players, and you're trying to win
Metcalf
right now, I would make that trade. But if OBJ is a depth piece, and see, this is tough. What's the format? Shane?
I was right about Metcalf this week. Metcalf doesn't play well against Arizona.
Yep.
And that was with Russ back.
No, yeah, you were right.
Got that one right. His end of season schedule looks great. As soon as this week he's going up against Washington. End of season schedule. What's
the format, man?
Like, Shane? we don't know that Odell can't, like, I know Odell is the most enigma of enigmas in all of football, but, like, do we know for sure that Odell can't come in and contribute, like, with no Robert Woods on the Rams?
Okay, let's assume
fantasy playoffs.
Let's assume he gives
Odell
you Robert
gets
Woods.
Seattle, Minnesota, and Baltimore. There's nothing scary about those.
Let's
matchups.
assume he gives you Robert Woods level.
Oh baby, then there's no way I'm making that trade.
So Robert Woods in fantasy points per game was giving you 15.2, and where's DK Metcalf?
Probably slightly
15.8. So yeah, all right. If he comes in and he gives you what Robert Woods was giving you, then no, I wouldn't do that trade.
75% of what Robert Woods was.
But if he continues to do what he's been doing, which is giving you,
which is nothing.
Where is he? 6.5 fantasy points on average per game that he plays. Then that's a win.
Yeah, Shane, if you're starting Odell right now, then okay, maybe. But if Odell's a bench play for you, I'm keeping Najee.
Yeah, because that means then you're not relying on somebody who's been giving you 6 fantasy points per game when he plays. You probably have somebody else who's averaging something a little bit better than that. At which point the disparity between that person and DK Metcalf isn't as much as the disparity between the two backs you're switching out.
Yeah, and even if you are starting Odell with no Robert Woods, he has a chance to actually work out. I would hold. Just Najee's an anchor.
But if you do this trade, I don't think it's a terrible trade.
Sure.
I don't think doing this is a terrible trade, even though we're not advocating doing it unless you were starting both of those players before.
It's fair enough. I wouldn't call it a loss if you wanted to do the deal.
It's not a loss.
At the end of the day, you have to, if the decision at the end of the day, you think to yourself, I made my team better, then that's what's most important. For me, I don't want to trade Najee.
I want to get deeper into this. Let us know your whole lineup and the format. and we'll
right.
we'll circle back to this one when we're down below, because this is such an even trade, even though we're both like, oh, we're hesitant to do this. So yeah, give us the full team, give us the format. New Era TV, what's going on? Is Philip Lindsay gonna get picked up by the Ravens and save my 5-6 season?
He might. I mean, shoot. Is he gonna save your season? That's a different story. Could he get picked up by the Ravens? Yeah, I guess so. Ravens could. Here's the thing: the Ravens don't, and this was even dating back to what healthy J.K. Dobbins last year. The Ravens' target distribution barely includes the running backs. Barely.
Yep.
Lamar does not check it down to running backs. It's not part of the Ravens' offensive game plan.
No, they run a lot and then they play action downfield, and running backs aren't typically used downfield. So yeah,
not these guys, not who they have in house now. Like, yes, could he get picked up by the Ravens? Sure. Will he save your season?
No.
Not ready to go there on Philip Lindsay, who couldn't get any work with Houston.
Yeah, they opted to play Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, Sexy Rexy got his playing time this week.
All right. Yeah. That's all you need to know about Philip Lindsay right now.
Yep.
And honestly, I think Philip Lindsay is a great football player. I just think he's too small to play football.
I don't know about great. He's a good football player.
He's too small to play football. And I know we saw what he did in Denver because they committed to him.
Injury issues
and that's
too.
But they moved on for a reason. I think he's too small to do everything an NFL back needs to do. Running the ball, sure. He's electric between the tackles because he's so small. Nobody can
straight line speed.
Right, but I mean he can't pass protect because he's tiny, so they can't use him in any high leverage situation. He's not. I don't believe he's a special teamer for almost the same reason.
No.
Yeah, he's a good real life football player and running the ball, but yes, I don't know how much he contributes to a team winning. Big Kong, the great Mike White and Joe Flacco tested positive for COVID. Houston DST to the moon. I mean,
Zach Wilson. So
there's got to be some other DSTs out there that you can choose from. I wouldn't be chasing Houston's defense, even though they looked better than anybody thought possible last week.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not chasing the Houston defense. They're a team to stay away from.
It is the Jets. It is the Jets. And Robert Saleh said that with Zach Wilson, he basically confirmed it's not he was healthy. It's a confidence issue. Like, it's a matter of confidence. So, like, what type of stuff is Zach Wilson dealing with behind the scenes right now? Is he, like, mentally not prepared to play?
Probably.
Could be worse. Honestly, you could do you.
But okay, what would you rather, Houston right now against the Jets or Philly?
Philly.
Is Philly out there, Big Con?
I'd rather play the Eagles. Look, if you want to take a shot on Houston because they're playing the Jets and a beleaguered rookie Zach Wilson, I won't try too hard to stop you, but I'm not necessarily sure that just because it's the Jets that the Texans are a defense that I'm willing to go after. Like, am I really going to roster and start Houston? And who am I dropping to make that happen? You know?
Yeah, I know Michael Carter is out as well, so that
Carter's out. That
bumps their. Yeah, he can grab Philly. Big Kong says he can grab Philly, so do that. That's a much better bet than
what?
Houston. You can continue to play
the Jets
Philly
too. The Philly gets the Jets next week.
Yep.
So
yeah, much better bet. Good job. Go and pick up Philly.
I think we might miss out on a like didn't see that coming type of performance from Houston this week, and I mean that positively. But Philly gets the Giants. Daniel Jones is a turnover machine. And then Philly themselves gets the Jets.
Yeah, so, Daniel Jones probably has a confidence issue right now too. And it's not like the Giants are that much better
the Giants
than
offense. Maybe the Giants offense got a bit of a boost today because they fired Jason Garrett. That's a good thing for the Giants that he's not a coach for them anymore. So
Yeah, I'm not chasing.
But
that,
obviously,
though.
I'm not taking that and thinking to myself, Daniel Jones to the moon.
But I'd much rather Philly than Houston as far as
Yeah,
the DST
to that
play.
point,
So,
right?
good
Daniel
job.
Jones still stinks. So,
Danny Boy,
yeah.
YouTube, you're 7-4. All right, chasing second place.
Oh, okay. So that's right. So you're fine with the Kamara trade. You're just yes. Like, are you gonna might you miss out on a bye week?
Better.
Maybe, but
your
starters.
Yeah. So, and these next 2 weeks you can ride out or this next week, hopefully it's just a week, you can ride out not having your RB1 and still be in
right. If you're in pole
hunt.
position for the playoffs, just like making the playoffs, you can swallow Kamara not playing.
You can make
right
that
now.
move, and that makes your team
it doesn't
better
feel
in the
good.
Playoffs. Yep.
I'm in the same exact situation actually. I'm 7-4. A few weeks ago I traded for Kamara. I don't have him right now. I've lost like maybe 2 out of my past 3 games or something like that. Doesn't feel good, but I'm not panicking.
Yeah, the more I sit with that trade, the more I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it's Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, and something that we haven't talked about is how much Dylan is gonna eat into Aaron Jones's workload moving forward, and they might cannibalize a little bit of the workload. So it's not gonna be a clear Aaron Jones start over AJ Dillon every week. I don't believe. Aaron Jones is still a dynamic talent, but
you're firing up a healthy Aaron Jones.
Yeah, but I think it's a little bit more of a Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt type situation, where Aaron Jones, where AJ Dillon is just more of a threat to get work on any day. So I like that you consolidated them into one piece that's better than both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
less is more in this situation.
Yep. I like that.
Yep.
Are we worried about Dallas offense this Thursday, R. Gordon?
So yeah, CeeDee Lamb is dealing with a concussion that forced him to miss the entire second half. Dak was pretty bad against Kansas City.
Didn't it look like? I think there was a report coming out, or that came out, that CD was gonna be playing on Thursday.
I didn't see that, but if he's active, I can't be worried about CD. I'm not I can't be yes. Is there a little bit more downside with CD Lamb? Like short week, gets cleared for a concussion. That's great, but is he truly ready to play?
Yeah, the Cowboys' CeeDee Lamb is doing very well, and I quote, after suffering concussion, team optimistic about status versus Raiders. So it looks like the CeeDee Lamb Dak stack is going to be back in full. I don't know if it's going to be in full effect, but it's going to be back. So it's not something that you should be worried about for Thursday. The team is optimistic. And he's doing very well.
Here's the situation, because if you're between, you got Darnell Mooney, you got Javonte Williams. A CeeDee Lamb who comes into the game with a questionable tag but ultimately is active has to be started.
Yes.
Has to be started.
And I like Michael Gallup a lot.
Yeah, we got him kind of wrong this past week, but the whole Cowboys
process was right, and he had 10 targets,
and
that's something that you're chasing.
Kind of like Jeff Wilson. The process was right, the results just weren't there. Jimmy G he had a receiving touchdown wide open, and Jimmy G sailed the throw.
Yeah,
gross. Different topic, but anyway.
You know who we were wrong on? More particularly me. I was a little bit more wrong on him. Brian Edwards. He's just, you cannot play Brian Edwards at all.
Nah,
I was in his corner one last time. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore.
Nah, yeah. It's over.
Yeah.
Poor man's Mike Williams. He'll have his weeks, but he's unpredictable in a bad way.
Yeah. In the worst way. Yeah.
It's disappointing, but yeah.
Yeah.
Big Colin. Yeah, if Nagy loses, he will likely be fired. I don't know that the Bears throw the game just to get rid of the coach. Just because the players themselves, like the NFL is
we skip some.
Sorry, what did I skip?
Yo, Theo, all the guys you are mentioning are older than Todd. Isn't that a concern?
It's a concern for Todd Gurley.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, Todd Gurley's knees are probably look older when you look at him from a medical perspective than any of the other backs that we're talking about. With the exception of maybe Le'Veon Bell, I don't know. And Devonta Freeman. I don't know.
if-
I don't know.
I don't know if
I
Bell's
just.
old. Freeman's older. I don't know if Bell is.
Oh no, from a medical perspective, the knees.
Oh.
Todd Gurley's knees probably look more like a 37-year-old person's than a 27-year-old person's knees.
87-year-old.
There you go. There you go.
I hate to say
So-
it, but like it. Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of got to look at it from that perspective, and it's something that was always going to get worse. It was never going to get better. And it's obviously something that multiple NFL teams have tried to manage, and they just haven't been able to. So yeah, I loved Todd Gurley when he was in, and he was getting all the work in for the Rams, and I even liked him a little bit last year, even though Nick hated him. But it's not a surprise to me that he's still out there. It would be a surprise to me if he gets picked up, but I wouldn't say it's.
It would
completely
be
out
a
of the
surprise
question.
to me. It would be a pleasant surprise, but it would be.
Yeah, it's like all right, good. He's.
But
getting,
it would be a surprise to
I'm glad
me.
he's.
if
I'm
he
glad
got
he's
picked
getting a
up.
workout type of deal, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But I would be surprised.
Yep. And R. Gordon, I view Hilliard like Casey's RB Gore, who came out for a week. Sure.
Yeah.
With
right.
a little
so,
bit
like,
more,
he could,
but
he could
but
be, he
Gore
could flash
was
here and
not
there.
used in the pass game when he came out. He was a rusher, and Hilliard is
Yeah,
a
he
pass
was.
catcher, and I like chasing pass catchers more than I like chasing rushers. So there is that. But yeah, I mean, from what they could give you next week, sure.
If McNichols is out again with a concussion this week, I would prefer Hilliard to Foreman.
There you go.
Just because it's the Patriots.
And you're in a set .75 PPR league, right? So you'd rather
Yeah.
the guy catch a pass.
So you'd rather have Hilliard.
Yep. Now
If
you
you
can get to
were
Big
looking
Kong's
to add
Bears question. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Or it's not a question, more like a thought here.
Okay.
I hear you, Big Kong. I hear you. But the NFL is so what have you done for me lately? And the players themselves, like anybody who isn't a star or better, is constantly fighting for their job, like every day.
Yes.
I would, So I don't think the players themselves are going to quit. They're not going to quit because they hate the coach. They're going. I mean, if it was like the last game of the regular season and you're 2-15 or whatever it is at this point, 2-4.
Even the guys that are starters are fighting real hard to keep their job as
You're
starters.
fighting for a
There's
job
always
next
2 and 3 guys behind you, and there's other
Yup.
coaching staffs that you're playing for if you're on a 1-year deal. And this is across the board at every position, whether you're playing offense, defense, or special teams. So no, I don't.
There
think,
was a I don't know if it's fair to call it a report. I saw something on Twitter today that somebody made a comment that Nagy has lost the locker room. It's official. Like Nagy's like it kind of started last year and it's full blown this year. Like the players are totally off Nagy.
and with good
and
reason.
I can believe that. I
Yeah.
can believe that for sure. But I think for the players themselves,
They're playing for themselves. They're playing
they're
for the other
playing
people in that
for
locker room.
they're playing for their next opportunity or to keep their jobs. Unless your name is, unless you're the quarterback, unless you're a rookie quarterback or, a star. Like Allen Robinson is losing money by the day these days, and as far as
Yes.
his next contract,
Yes.
he's trying to get out there and prove he's deserving of money, like of making money. And that's just one example.
Because Darnell Mooney is looking better than him every week.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'll throw the game just because
No.
of the nature of the NFL.
You don't get
But
to,
I
you don't
I
get
see
to
what
be
you're
playing in
saying.
the NFL and by having the mentality that you're going to throw a game.
Yeah.
The only
I
way,
s-
like now, the coaching staff could have a good player inactive over a bad player. That type of thing. Sure. But even that I don't see, because Nagy's trying to win as many games as he can too. He's trying to save his job. The coaching staff
He's trying to
his
save any
job.
type of face
Yeah.
that he can.
So
at
no,
this point.
I don't see it at all. I don't see the Bears throwing. I don't see any NFL team or locker room throwing a game.
Yeah, the situation has to become like full-on mutiny. And even then, it's like you're still playing for yourself at the very least.
Yeah.
Here today, gone tomorrow. That's like gotta be That's gotta be like an unwritten mantra of the NFL.
Yep.
You know.
R. Gordon. So both. Yeah. Both were
Darnell,
good plays.
Mooney and Javonte. Yeah, both are good plays. It's a guy. It's sure with the 0.75 PPR. If we want to give the slight edge to Mooney with Allen, if Allen Robinson misses the game, then sure. But if he's in. If Allen Robinson is a surprise active, because I think it would be fair to call him a surprise active at this point, do you still play Mooney? Because I think then I would...
Andy Dalton playing, right?
Yeah, Andy Dalton's playing. Yeah, Fields is going to miss this game. But some of Mooney's 16 targets came with Fields.
Yeah, I'd still play him.
Okay.
I'd still play Mooney. Yep. In
right.
in 0.75 PPR, I'm still playing Mooney.
All right.
Sue me. King of the J 412. What's going on? Is Dez Fitzpatrick worth a shot in a deep league for a flex spot?
Not much on the wire.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like musical chairs, right? For these Titans.
He was a 4th round rookie.
I said stay away from Marcus Johnson this week.
He was a 4th round rookie, and while I don't believe he made the team out of camp. I think they cut him.
I didn't realize.
And then they re-signed him once they had wide receiver issues. So this was not a guy that they were very high on, but they just needed to bring him back, and he's out there. And they brought him back, and he did decently.
Is Golden Tate out there? Would you do Dez Fitzpatrick or Golden Tate? If Golden Tate's available here. Because, again, I've already said this, I think, twice now on the stream. I'll say it again. I'm not sure we can bank on A.J. Brown playing a full complement of snaps this weekend if he plays at all. Julio's already out. I think the Golden Tate signing is not necessarily the best look for A.J. Brown. So would you play Dez or would you play Golden Tate?
Dez Fitzpatrick runs a 4.49. He runs a 4.49. He's 6'2". I mean, I'd rather play the young guy with upside. Yeah, I don't think Golden Tate has a ton of upside left.
Probably not.
And I'm willing to take a shot on Dez and see if he's got it. If he can put it together and become the piece that they wanted him to become in this offense when they drafted him in the 4th round. This isn't just a guy that they picked up off the waiver wire and he's starting for their team now. Like they drafted him and then they cut him because they didn't like something, but they brought him back and he's showing enough to where that they're throwing him out on the field. They're cutting guys like Josh Reynolds and bringing in Dez Fitzpatrick. Now, I know they played pretty much everybody under the sun over him at this point, and he's literally the last man standing, and they're bringing in other talent to put around him so they don't have to rely on him as much, but I still think he's going to be out there. I'm going Dez Fitzpatrick over how old is Golden Tate now? 34?
34, yeah.
Is he?
Something like that. I think that's right. Just off the top.
He's 30. He's 33. He's 33.
Okay, well, all right, same thing.
Yeah. And Golden Tate, let's see what he did when he was last in the NFL. Last year with the Giants. 52 targets, 35 receptions, 388 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, no. I'm going Dez and hoping for some upside. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a situation, too, where Titans got to pull something out of their hat because they're playing New England. So maybe Fitzpatrick is that sneaky play this week.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. R. Gordon, do we think
Yeah, bro.
Javonte Williams will split time rest of season? Yeah, and he has a good chance to slightly overtake Melvin Gordon rest of season too. That's still in the realm of possibility here. I know Melvin Gordon has been probably the better fantasy back over the course of these past 11 games, but I mean, they drafted Javonte Williams. They're not re-signing Melvin Gordon. Javonte Williams, I believe, is 22, and Melvin Gordon's 28. So yeah,
He's probably gonna split. He's gonna split time.
He's gonna split time rest of season. He might get a slight uptick in usage towards the end of the season as well, though.
Could be.
Could happen. That's good baloney. What's going on? DJ Dallas, yes or no? Rashad Penny came in for 2 plays, right, or 1 play, and he had
it was like, oh my god, look
he had
at
a
Rashad
really
Penny,
explosive play, and then he injured.
hurt.
Yeah, and then I think he went for 18 yards, and then
It was a nice run. He ripped off.
then
a
he
nice
was out,
run.
but he didn't
hurt.
stay out of the game altogether. He did come back, and I think he played like 7 snaps altogether in the game. So
Okay.
he's not all the way injured. But, I mean, you cannot trust Rashad Penny at all. That is absolutely clear. He might still have some explosiveness, but I don't think after that injury that he sustained, he's ever going to be somebody that you can rely on in fantasy or that coaching staffs can rely on in real-life NFL situations. So, for DJ Dallas, that's a good thing. Obviously, I think he had 4 rushes or 4 receptions for 25 yards and a touchdown.
4 carries for
there
25.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing with DJ Dallas. What does Seattle have to lose at this point as far as just giving the guy a look? They're 3-7. I said on Sunday, I said if Seattle loses at home to Arizona, their season is over. So I'll say it now that result is final. Seattle's season is over. You might as well get a look at some young guys. DJ Dallas fits that mold.
Not only is the Seattle season over, but Chris Carson's career looks like it's over.
Chris Carson's
and Alex Collins is not the answer. And Rashad Penny was on a 1-year deal, and he's a free agent next year, and there's no way that they re-sign him. So the only back that they have on the roster, I believe, heading into next year is DJ Dallas, and maybe Travis Homer. I'm not even sure. I'd have to confirm that. He might be a free agent. He might be a free agent next year too. It might be the only back on the roster that they have right now is DJ Dallas.
Well, that necessarily we're just talking about this year, I think. I
understand that, but that means something. If they're trying, if it's a lost season and they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, they're evaluating.
Right. I'm not saying for next season. I think that they should want to really see what they have in him to see how much they can trust him and how much they can put on his plate. Third round rookie last year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he's his 2nd-year player this year. He came in with plus pass catching chops. He was thought of, but not the best athleticism. But we've seen backs with subpar athleticism do perfectly fine this past year when given a lion's share of work. Ernest Johnson was an RB1 a few weeks when he got the lion's share of work, and he ran a 4.8. So
okay.
It doesn't matter what DJ Dallas's athleticism is as a rusher. He succeeds in the pass game too. He's versatile. He's used in the special team game. He's always going to be on the game day roster. Why not give him a shot? I think I don't know if he's how big is your league? I don't know if he's a pickup.
Well, that was my question, or that was going to be my question. Who are you dropping to grab him? Like, who are your options? Like, if it's Donta Foreman to pick up DJ Dallas, are you doing it?
No.
Okay. So yeah, good baloney.
Because honestly, if Alex Collins
who are you dropping to pick up DJ Dallas?
I don't know if DJ Dallas is getting all that work. I think then the Seahawks are going to go out and look for a Todd Gurley.
No, God, no.
Hey, they were willing to go out were willing to go out and get Alex Collins off of the trash
season.
Bro,
that was before their season was in the tank.
I don't care. The fact that they were willing to go out and sign a back that hadn't been on an NFL roster in like 4 years and make him their RB1, means that if they're willing to go to the bottom of the barrel. If Alex Collins got injured, I bet you I'll put $5 on that. You want to put a bet on that?
I will take that.
All right. No bet, obviously, if Alex Collins doesn't get injured. But if Alex Collins gets injured, I bet you $5 on this channel right now that the team will work out.
Or works out Todd Gurley.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take that bet.
Boom.
Deal.
All right. There we go.
As far as deal. Locked it in.
Yes.
But for good baloney, who would you be dropping? That would be my question.
Yeah.
Juke Collier, what's going on?
What's going on, Juke?
Think of this trade: Diggs for Robinson and Hunter Renfrow. Is that James Robinson? Who gets who?
I'm guessing that's James Robinson and Hunter Renfrow. Yeah.
In a vacuum, it's hard to analyze this type of stuff. Like, did your starting lineup get better? Like, first of all, which side are you on? And second of all, did your starting lineup get better? Diggs is awesome. Diggs is incredible, and he's probably a minimum top 8 receiver rest of the season. James Robinson and Hunter Renfrow provide or offer some solid depth that potentially fills out a starting lineup somewhat nicely, depending on the other pieces. So a little more context might be needed here as far as just like, what do we think of the trade? Diggs is the best player, but like, what does the rest of that roster look like? Robinson and Renfrow are
solid
definitely
tandem.
Weak, solid group of, Robinson. If we're talking about James here, I assume we're talking about James Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
He's a starter every week at running back. And Hunter Renfrow is a perfectly fine spot start who, depending on your other receivers, might be in your lineup every week. But I might need a little bit more context here as far as like being able to fully analyze the trade.
Yep.
So, if there's any other details you want to share, like
if again you're trading one starter and Diggs for 2 starters and Robinson and Renfrow, then I'm more willing to be like, all right, if you're playing both of these guys, Hunter Renfrow outside of last week has a 15-point floor and ceiling, which is fine by me. Then and you need to rely on Robinson as your RB2 or something, then sure. If Robinson becomes an RB1 for you and Renfro's on your bench, then I'd rather have the Diggs side of the equation. Yeah, and Diggs is the best player in the trade, so
yeah.
Even if you're trading one starter for 2 starters, you're still losing the best player in the deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad move. Now, we did see Darren Waller explode last week at the expense of everybody else in that offense. Hunter Renfrow came back to earth for the first time.
That was a long time coming.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time. Does that happen again? Was that an outlier for this season, or not? Is it now Darren Waller's season, rest of the season, at the expense of Hunter Renfrow and everybody else in this offense? Brian Edwards. That's something to keep an eye on. In a vacuum, which way would you go?
On this trade?
Yes.
Diggs.
I'd agree.
Slightly. I do like Robinson, but might need a little bit more context here. Richie, any QB suggestions? Because Mahomes is on bye. I see Cam in your list, so I'm gonna stop there. Cam. Scott,
yeah. We were right on Cam.
We saw the rushing upside. He's the clear-cut starter. The weapons are great. Big Ben would be my second choice, but Cam's playing Miami.
Big Ben would be your second choice?
Cincinnati.
Not your boy Heineke?
Heineken? Nah. Even though he's playing Seattle.
Old Dominion product?
He's playing Seattle, which is obviously that's a favorable matchup for any quarterback. But give me Cam. Miami is not scary against quarterbacks. Cam's got far and away the most rushing upside of all of these guys.
Yep.
Cam. relative. I think that's I don't think. I mean, if I'm in
No,
that situation,
I'm not really thinking about it too much.
I'm going Cam. Cam's my target. If I'm in your,
He had
if I'm in your
26
shoes,
points, I believe, by halftime. Did he do much more after that? Not too much, no. But I believe he had 26 fantasy points by halftime.
Yeah, his big touchdown run was in the first half.
Yeah,
his early touchdown to
tons
DJ
of upside.
Moore.
Just go Cam Newton.
Yeah, Cam. If I'm in your shoes, Richie, I'm picking up Cam.
Big Kong, I'd have to cut Khalil Herbert or Samaje Perine as a Mixon owner to pick up Ty Johnson. Hold or nah?
Hold. Well,
Samaje Perine, I would move to pick up Ty Johnson if you need the wins right now. Because I don't believe Samaje Perine is somebody that some other team is going to snatch up.
I'm not picking up Ty Johnson. I know he's a trendy waiver ad this week, but he's a guy that I've been advocating. And I like Ty Johnson. And I have liked Ty Johnson all this year. But his best weeks came with great Mike White Shark.
Yep. That I believe but he's going to get all the work. I know Tevin Coleman's back. I don't believe in Tevin Coleman. He's going to get 4 touches and then get injured.
Tevin Coleman got the work in Carter's absence, though. It was not Ty Johnson. This backfield just might be gross. And with Zach Wilson, Ty Johnson only got over 10 fantasy points in half PPR or better formats once. In standard, in that same week in standard, I think he scored like 7 or 8 points. That was his best output with Zach Wilson.
I get not wanting to cut Khalil Herbert, but Samaje Perine is not a handcuff. Yeah, but that's not a handcuff that another team is going to go out and target picking up. That's not an Alexander Madison or a Tony Pollard or
if
an
Mixon
AJ
gets
Dillon
hurt this week, then he does.
I'm dropping Samaje Perine if I want to pick up Ty Johnson.
If you want to do it, fine. I'm advocating you don't do it. I'm advocating you hold because I think Ty Johnson is smoke and mirrors this week. And again, I have liked Ty Johnson this year in spurts. I don't think this is the time.
Fair.
I don't think this is his time. Got him.
I mean, I'm a pun guy, but man,
shut up.
That was terrible, dude.
Well, then let's just move on.
No, we got to stay on that. That was absolutely terrible.
You can think whatever you want. I went with it, and I'm sticking with it.
All right. Well,
I like Ty Johnson, but I'm not picking him up this week. I would hold. And to your point, you've been an advocate of holding on to handcuffs at this point in the season.
I am. But Samaje Perine, I believe, is a guy that you can drop, see how Ty Johnson does for a week, and then pick up next week if Ty Johnson does absolutely nothing.
I'm not messing around with that, though, if in the event that Mixon gets hurt this week. Because that's all it takes is him to get hurt this week. And then you're sitting there,
Then you pick up Chris Evans and you got the pass catching back.
That's not the handcuff, though. Perine is the handcuff. I'm not doing a big call. I'm holding, and this is kind of an easy call for me. I'm not picking up Ty Johnson this week.
No, I am for Samaje Perine because I think you can pick up Perine next week if things don't work out with Ty Johnson.
I'm not risking a Mixon injury. To take a step the only way you're doing this is if you intend to start Ty Johnson. Like, you pick him up if you're going to start him. I see he right below. He says his running backs are Eckler or Mixon. Obviously, Ty Johnson's not getting started over Eckler or Mixon. I'm not doing it. I'm standing pat.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, I
don't see anything wrong with that philosophy, but I'm still. If I can pick up Ty Johnson, I'm picking up Ty Johnson to see how he is, and see what his usage is like, because the team might game plan wise go into it and say, Zach Wilson, do a lot more of what Mike White was doing, and it might be to your benefit and help build your confidence if you succeed in the short pass game and don't even try to go intermediate a whole lot. Go to your running backs into Jamison Crowder. Like, that might be a game plan point for them. That wouldn't be out of the question for me. So I know that Ty Johnson wasn't used in that capacity before. Athletically, he's a good back. He's young. He doesn't have a lot of tread on his tires, and he can be used in pretty much any phase of the game. And he will be used in every phase of the game offensively, out of necessity. And I don't believe in Tevin Coleman. For a week, I'm willing to pick up Ty Johnson, see what he does, and then if he doesn't do anything, drop him for Samaje Perine, because I think Mixon's going to be fine for a week.
You don't know that. I mean,
you're 3 weeks. Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's like we can never predict an injury. We just can't. I would not mess around with it at this point in the season.
Okay.
All it takes is one play, and Scott Hansen goes, Joe Mixon down. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
I'm not messing around with it.
Or you could have a player with a 15-point floor for the next few weeks,
but he's going to be on your bench. You're not starting him over Austin Eckler. You're not starting him over.
Yeah,
Joe
but what
Mixon.
if Austin Eckler's the one that gets injured, and then you're sitting there with either Khalil Herbert or Samaje Perine?
Well, then you attack the waiver wire.
But by then, Ty Johnson's going to be picked up.
He might not be startable.
So if you're talking about injuries, it could happen to anybody, man. Yeah, and
I understand.
But Mixon has had a great year.
I understand that, but because
Samaje Perine isn't one of those backs that you absolutely need to roster if you're not the owner. And we're 3 weeks away from the playoffs at this point. So yeah, I'm an advocate. I understand that. For the other teams in the league, nobody's rushing to pick up Samaje Perine if he drops him. That's my point.
Sure.
Unless you're talking. Yes, man, but we're not predicting injury.
I know, but we're guarding against it.
In the playoffs, and we're 3 weeks away from the fantasy playoffs. I'm still looking for upside at this point. I'm not looking to hedge my bets at this point. I hedge my bets with handcuffs for running backs as we get closer to the playoffs, but we're 3 weeks out because the season is one game longer, and I'm not doing that yet. I'm going out and still trying to maximize my roster just in case, because if either of them go down, yeah, guess what? Samaje Perine is a good bet to put up 15 fantasy points, but Ty Johnson's a good bet to put up 15. Is going to get the usage to put up 15 fantasy points as well over the next few games, and we're not sure how effective Michael Carter's going to be when he comes back. So I agree with doing what you are advocating. Once you're like a game out from the playoffs. Still 3 games out from the playoffs. A lot can happen. We don't predict injuries. I agree we guard against them in the playoffs. I'm still for that opportunity cost, I'm dropping Samaje Perine because I can pick him up again next week.
Okay. That's I can't agree with that one. But hopefully Big Con, hopefully this John gave his 2 cents, I gave mine.
4 straight weeks of 10 plus fantasy points when he was used a little bit in the past game.
Who?
Ty Johnson.
Yeah, not with this quarterback.
I already made my point about how
I made my point as well. I made my point.
Well, you're wrong.
You just relax because I'm not.
Cali Loco, what's going on? Hey, thanks for the kind words. How do we rank the retread backs? Sorry, Hilliard, Burkhead, Coleman, Dallas. Might have to use one if Kamara is out. How do we rank them?
I would probably put Hilliard first if Jeremy McNichols has to miss the game again. Because
going against the Jets, you're not playing Burkhead over Hilliard going up against the Jets?
Yeah.
Because if we're talking about the guy that's going to get the passing down work, I mean, Burkhead's going to get both. I know we don't put a lot of value on the Houston offense, but he's going to get all the work for a team that looked better than anybody thought they would have against the Titans, and now they're playing the team that's giving up the most fantasy points to running backs by far in the Jets. and game script, if we're led to believe that, as you believe, Zach Wilson is just terrible, something's wrong with his confidence, and he's somebody to attack, then you want the team playing the defense, or you want the running back of the team playing the defense that's playing against him. You wouldn't go Burkhead over Hilliard?
Ugh.
Doesn't feel great. I get that. But I'm going Burkhead over Hilliard.
I think I give a slight edge to Hilliard because I don't expect the Titans in any way, shape, or form to like pull away from New England in this game. Therefore, the pass catching back is going to have to remain involved because you can't play vanilla against the New England defense. If you try to slam Donta Foreman up the middle for 5 yards, it's going to be Donta Foreman slammed up the middle for 1 yard. Like, you got to get creative when you play the Patriots. I think Hilliard presents a better opportunity there, but obviously that's pending McNichols' health. If McNichols is active, then sure, go with Burkhead.
Jets are giving up 33.9 fantasy points to opposing running backs. And it's
Houston
Burkhead and nobody else.
Their own right.
It's Burkhead and nobody else. So even if they average 10 less fantasy points than the average, which, you know, for Houston it would be on par, that's still 23.9 fantasy points to opposing running backs. And I'm not expecting much of that work, if any of that work, to go to David Johnson. Any of the meaningful work, it's going to all go to Rex Burkhead. And I'm chasing the numbers here. Hilliard's a practice squad guy. I don't know if I've ever seen him.
Practice squad heroes come in and produce right away. It's what they do. Yeah.
He's a coaching staff favorite. They're releasing running backs left and right and promoting him. He's technically fresh because he hasn't gotten a ton of work. Everything we like about Hilliard, we should like about Burkhead more this week.
It's just a much worse situation. That's the thing.
Well, I'm going Burkhead, Hilliard, Dallas, Coleman.
I agree with that total, or with that list, as long as if McNichols is healthy. If he's out, I'd give a slight edge to Hilliard over Burkhead. Just better offense, better quarterback, worse matchup, there's no doubt. I can't get behind a Houston player.
It's tough. This is outside of Brandon Cooks and maybe Nico Collins in a very large league. I'm not advocating anybody on a week-to-week basis in the Houston offense either. But they keep releasing backs and they keep promoting him.
And we saw Tyrod vulture
and he's
a couple
playing
of scores.
By far the worst fantasy defense against running backs, and it's not even close. It's not even close. The next the next best fantasy defense is giving up 26.7 fantasy points to opposing running backs. That is a 7-point difference. So it's a full touchdown difference. Touchdown 0.2 points. A touchdown plus 0.2 points. And that second place defense is the Seattle Seahawks.
Ooh, yeah, they're bad against running backs.
No, but that illustrates how bad the Jets really are. And I'm chasing that number.
They're awful.
I'm chasing whoever's playing them. We did it last week. Didn't work out. I'm going back to the well though because the numbers.
No, we did it with Gaskin came through. It took until the end of the game, but Gaskin came through.
Yeah, you're right. So
it was
like
pulling teeth
so
because
it did work.
He stinks. But
it did work out.
Yeah, all right, fine. Slight edge to Burkhead.
Yeah.
All right, slight edge.
Doesn't feel great. I'm with you 100%. I don't want to play Burkhead.
Yeah, I don't want.
But it makes the most sense if you're looking at the numbers.
Yeah. The Jets are a team where it's like, yeah, this is worth chasing. Like you or me could be the running back and it would be like, yeah, play those guys.
William Risky, what are your picks for Thanksgiving?
Stuffing. No, but as far as the game picks, who I think is going to win the game, well, there's no way I can pick the Lions. Like
Bears,
the spread or money line.
I think it's the Bears. I think the Cowboys win against the Raiders. I think the Bills win against the Saints.
That game's gonna be close.
It's going to be close because the Saints have a good defense. The Bills have a good defense. It's going to be a
They're gonna be playing
sloggier
at
game.
home. It's a primetime game.
It's going to be a sloggier game, and the Bills clearly aren't right now.
Neither are the Saints. It's technically a get right game or potential get right game for both teams. The Bills are the better team, better quarterback, better defense, but the Saints have a good defense in their own right. No Kamara and potentially no Ingram.
Yeah, Tony Jones Jr. might be the starter there for next week.
Right, but he's playing the Bills, so we can't. I was about to say, like, hey, Callie, what about Tony Jones Jr.?
And Adam Troutman is on IR,
but not against the Bills. Even though Jonathan Taylor made them look like a Pop Warner.
Adam
Troutman, he does that to everybody.
Adam Troutman on IR as
Troutman is on IR.
Yep, as William Risky says a little later.
For the season? Yep. Is he for the season, Doug?
I believe so. I believe it could be. It's a sprained MCL, and it could be out for the season, or at least the fantasy season.
4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
4 to 6 weeks.
So, it's Joanna Man Johnson season for the rest of the year.
My 10th place best ball teams weep. I have a lot of Troutman shares. That was a mistake.
Well,
although he delivered against the Eagles. If you need a tight end
his usage was going up, and
Evan
so
Ingram.
that sucks.
Yeah, usage was going up. It does hurt.
Again, I'm expecting Troutman to be the breakout next year. It's the breakout that we expected him to have this year is the breakout he will have next year. So if you play in Dynasty,
he's gonna be like a
target
14th round pick.
Yeah,
it's gonna be easy money.
Yep. Until the hype builds.
William.
But yeah,
Bears, Cowboys. I'll go slight edge to Bills. I would if you're talking about like betting, I would go Bills money line, but depending on the spread, I might take the Saints with the points. Close game at home.
Yes, sir. Shane Tuck was that, and the rest of your roster. All right, you posted both, so let's get to this. The rest of the roster is Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams. Wow, CeeDee Lamb. Lost the place. Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews, Chase Claypool.
You have no
Mark
need
Ingram.
for DK Metcalf. You have no need for DK Metcalf.
Yeah, you wouldn't play him.
Keep Najee.
You might play him over Marquise Brown.
You would play him over Hollywood and Claypool, but like, you don't need to.
Yeah.
Nah, keep Najee, Shane.
Yeah, I would keep that.
Najee. Case closed. I've seen enough. Keep Najee. It's a good team. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. And with Lamar Jackson and Jonathan Taylor and Devontae Adams, you shouldn't have much to worry. And Mark Andrews, you shouldn't have much to worry about.
No.
Yeah. Good drafting. Good job. Good job. Mark Yasko, what's going on? Logan Thomas or Brandon Ayuk? Brandon Ayuk. Logan Thomas is coming back from injury. He should be playing this week, but we still got to wait and see.
Oh, he said he means Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee or Brandon Ayuk. Is this a trade or somebody or who to start?
Good question.
If we're talking about like a flex position here, like who's your other tight end? Like, do you have Kelsey? Do you have Waller? Like, could Higbee be a trade? Like, I don't know if the trade deadline has passed.
If that's a trade, I'm going after Brandon Ayuk over Tyler Higbee because Tyler Higbee is like the RB13, I believe. He's not a tight end 1.
Yeah.
He's a high-end tight end 2, and if you can trade a high-end tight end 2,
I'd rather have Ayuk.
If you can trade a high-end tight end 2 for a guy that's trending to be a wide receiver 2 right now,
if the trade deadline hasn't passed,
right? I would do that, and I would play Ayuk over Higbee as well. So regardless of how you look at that, I'm going Ayuk over Higbee.
Yeah, Ayuk is back on the map.
Yep.
He's back on the map.
We should have advocated buying low on him.
Sorry?
We should have advocated buying low at the beginning of the season on him. And then he had dynasty formats.
It was really hard to do that because remember that first month was woof.
Yeah.
Like he was in the doghouse. He was doing nothing. He was getting he was behind like Trent Sherfield as far as getting playing time. It was hard. Hindsight's 2020. I can't in good conscience have been like, I totally would have advocated.
A year before, he was a fantasy wide receiver 1 for a large swath of the season, and he was only 23. So, I mean, I have a little bit of non-buyer's remorse. I feel like I should have. It was something I thought about, and it was something that I put off, and now it's too late. So
Well, there you go.
yeah. William Risky, wait, Troutman on IR. Is it about to be our boy Juwan Man Johnson season again?
Maybe. Somebody needs to step up in that offense.
He's still a tight end wide receiver hybrid right now on Sleeper. I don't know about any other format, so he's worth a shot. I mean, we have seen more of Traquan Smith. We have seen better outings from Marquez Callaway. We have seen Devontae Harris pick up slack in that offense.
Juwan Johnson has dual eligibility on Yahoo as well.
Right, and I believe Juwan Johnson had a few pretty decent end zone targets last week. Did he score on any?
No, I don't.
No.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't score. Actually, last week he didn't do anything. He didn't even have a target. You might have been thinking about.
I was probably thinking about somebody else.
The week before he had 3 targets. He had two catches.
There
for
we
36.
go. There we go.
Last week he was not targeted. And then
Ingram
Bills,
Troutman was
this week is not the week to try him out. Not against
Troutman
Buffalo.
was highly utilized, and he got injured, I believe, in the 4th quarter. So that lines up. But yeah, I mean, we could see more of Juwan Johnson moving forward for sure.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't play him this week, but after this week, he gets Dallas, who gives up top 10 production to tight ends, and then the Jets, who are the Jets.
Yeah, he's a good streamer.
It's a deep streamer, but sure.
And with that dual eligibility, I mean, that gives him a slight edge over any other tight end streamer for me, just because if you're rostering him, you have a little bit of of flexibility with how you deploy him in your lineup. So I like him as a streamer for the next 2 weeks, the next 3 weeks, the 2 weeks after this week, based on what the schedule that Nick put forth. So yeah. I'm not expecting the moon though. Again, remember at the beginning of the season, he was getting 2 touchdowns on 3 red zone targets on 20% of the snaps. I know he's going to get probably around 50 to 60% of the snaps there, but he's not going to get all of them because he's purely a receiving option. He's going to be running in a lot of routes, not just in the end zone, but I mean, insane efficiency to the beginning of the season, and that's not to be expected down the stretch.
Yep.
Where we at? Big Kong in a 2 QB league. Which of these QBs would you rather have rest of season? Heineke, Bridgewater, or Simeon? Heineke and then Bridgewater?
I guess. What's the deal with Ryan Fitzpatrick?
He's done for the year.
Is that official?
Yes, he's done for the year.
Did I miss that?
Yep.
When did that happen?
Last week, I believe. Yeah, he's done for the year. His career might be over.
Likely done for the year. I totally missed that. Yeah, Heineke, I guess. Between those guys, he's got a little bit of rushing upside. I mean, Bridgewater does a little bit as well.
Heineke's been doing better team.
The deepest collection. Bridgewater's got the deepest collection of weapons. Heineke has Terry McLaurin.
And he's getting Logan Thomas back. He has J.D. McKissick.
Yeah.
If Curtis Samuel were ever to amount to anything, and then he's got Curtis Samuel out there. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's been succeeding with basically only Terry McLaurin. So I think Heineke, his arrow's pointing up. I don't know if Bridgewater's arrow is pointing up.
I think Bridgewater could potentially play his way out of a starting job.
Yeah.
Like Drew Lock is sitting out there.
Yep.
Not that Drew Lock is that good, but
he's not good. Bridgewater's the better quarterback, but I think they might be forced to just. It's not by a large margin, and I think you're right. They might be forced into just playing anybody else. And honestly, something that we were talking about before the stream, the Denver Broncos have re-signed extended Tim Patrick to a long deal, and now Cortland Sutton to a long deal, despite having KJ Hamler and Jerry Jeudy there long term. and Noah Fant and Alberto there long term. And I think that, in conjunction with the fact that they were willing to trade away a guy like Von Miller from their defensive line, spells them possibly going out and getting a highly priced free agent quarterback next season.
Well, they're paying. Are they paying some of Von Miller's salary this year?
Yes.
I think they're still paying, but I would have to imagine it comes off the books for them after this year.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll free up more cap space.
And they drafted Javonte Williams to have him be their RB1, and they're going to pay Melvin Gordon and then let him walk. Again, freeing up more space.
Mm-hmm.
I think more
money.
I think that we might see an Aaron Rodgers push pretty soon.
Oh boy, Aaron Rodgers going to
Aaron Rodgers to the Denver Broncos. Yeah, we could see it.
It's gonna be a wild offseason.
It is.
But I'm not ready to go there yet.
No.
Nope. Yeah, Big Con, I'll go. Because I didn't realize Fitzpatrick was done for the season. That was something I missed last week. So Heineke.
Juke, I would probably not accept that trade because, well, it probably would feel good to have the running back depth there.
You
the
already
fact
got
that you have
Swift
Swift and Barkley
Saquon back. No, keep.
And then
Diggs.
you got Diggs and Deontay is a much better duo than Deontay and Hunter Renfrow, because while Hunter Renfrow
who's your flex? Sorry to cut you off, Scott. Who would your flex be without making this trade? With that said, I almost don't care who it is. I would rather keep Diggs.
Yeah.
Like, I like Renfrow, but I don't want Renfrow to be an every week player at the expense of having to trade Diggs.
And James Robinson does get a little bit of a boost with the team losing Jamal Agnew for the season.
Jamal Agnew is done, so yeah, boost.
So they're going to be using him a little bit more in the pass game and in the run game because Jamal Agnew was getting rushes. He got 5 rushes last week, or the week before, one of the two. But I wouldn't be trading Diggs to get him and a much lesser wide receiver. I like Renfrow, but he is a much lesser wide receiver than Diggs.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Can I drop Zach Moss for Ty Johnson? No. I know Breida looks like he could be the back to own there now.
Breida's the Bills RB1.
I would not drop Zach Moss for Ty Johnson off of.
I would hold. I would hold Moss
because I like Zach Moss more than I like Devin Singletary. So if I'm holding 2 backs in the Bills offense, it's going to be Breida and Moss. It's not going to be Breida and Singletary. So I like Moss more than I like Ty Johnson. Better offense, similar athleticism, skill set.
Yeah, for now, I'm not ready to go there.
Yep. Jason Fielder, what's going on?
Yeah. What's up, Jason? Yeah, I'm not ready to go there
Juwanna Man. Yeah. Juwanna Man. You still got to watch that movie. What are your thoughts on 8 and 10 team leagues? I feel like they're not as fun. It's just too easy.
Agreed.
I mean, it's fun in the fact that it's fun to have a roster full of studs.
Yeah.
But then the in-season management is of lesser importance, because you have all these studs and the competition. Once you get into 12-team leagues, you kind of separate the. I don't love to use this analogy, but the men from the boys.
Yeah, we gotta find a gender-neutral one.
Yeah.
For that.
It kind of separates the undrafted free agents from the people that are being drafted. There we go. There we go. A little better. I don't know.
The contenders and pretenders are easier to differentiate.
Thank you.
From. There you go.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm in a 10-team league with Nick, and it's it's competitive, very competitive. It's fun, but 12-team leagues is where you really have you can tell which owners are bad owners and which owners are good owners, which owners have good in-season management, which ones don't, and it makes much more of a difference. And especially when you get into 14 and 16-team leagues, the in-season management and constantly keeping up with it and just being a smart manager means more, because you can go chalk based off of some analyst's rankings that you looked up on Yahoo in an 8 to 10-team league and draft the best team in there. Doesn't take skill. but I believe it does take skill to really be a contender year in, year out in 12 to 14, 16 team leagues.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it means more to as well when you win those ones. It feels a little better because you beat more people. That's my personal opinion too.
With less talent.
Yes. Mark Yasko,
who to start?
Logan
Thomas or Higbee?
Tyler Higbee?
Oh, Higbee. We got to see Thomas.
Yep.
He's missed a ton of time before. Like, he's going to practice this week. He might not even play.
I mean, we saw John Bates, their rookie. I believe he was a 6th-round rookie, come out and have a decent game last week because rookie Seals Jones was out, I believe. But they have bodies out there to play, and maybe they don't rush Logan Thomas back. I know they re-signed him. They signed him to an extension earlier in the season, a 4-year extension. So he's definitely their present and future right now. But
the injury,
they don't absolutely need to rush him back fully because they do have John Bates. I believe Jay Sternberger might be out there still, but I think they signed him. My point being, they have bodies out there.
They have other people.
Right.
I mean, and to that point, Higbee's going to have to step up in the absence of Robert Woods.
Absolutely.
Like, their production is not the same, but it's kind of on a similar plane.
It's the short to intermediate pass game.
Short to intermediate work.
Yep.
Higbee. Oh, and he said real quick, I see Drew's comment, but Mark said he's got to head out. Should he trade Damian Harris and Darnell Mooney for Miles Sanders? That's a lot to give up for a guy who just has not done it this year.
Now, I like moving off of Damian Harris because he has a terrible rest of season schedule.
Brutal rest of season
Terrible rest of season schedule. And Sanders has one of the best rest of season schedules. So I like that, but you're giving up way too much when you're adding in Mooney. If you can add in a lesser piece...
Could you try Harris for Sanders straight up? Or just a wide receiver 4.
I know Mooney and Harris are on your bench, but that means that probably Miles Sanders will probably end up on your bench.
Mooney might not stay on your bench.
Yeah, Mooney could be startable.
Mooney might not stay on your bench. Unless you got Tyreek Hill and
who
Cooper
else is on your
Kupp
bench? Let us know who else is on your bench, Mark.
Unless your receivers are Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, and oh my God, he was just on the tip of my tongue. Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. Like, Mooney could crack the lineup by the next couple of weeks. So no, I would not do that deal, Mark. Giving up.
I like in a vacuum moving 2 bench players for a guy that you feel like you could start with confidence. I like that,
sure.
But I feel like that's a little bit too much considering what Mooney did last week. 16 targets, and there's a chance that he could be getting that again. And he's the clear future for them at wide receiver. So I want to see if I can hold on to Mooney. So if you could stick around and throw in who else is on your bench, maybe we can help you figure this out. But just keep in mind that we would try to trade Harris and a different bench piece,
a lower wide receiver.
But I like what you're doing.
Yeah, the philosophy's there.
Yeah.
But anyway, Drew said he would drop P. Ryan. This is probably the big conversation about do you pick up Ty Johnson. So he's in agreement with you.
Yeah, if you could throw Julio Jones in that trade, Mark. If you could throw Julio Jones in that, because I think he ends up being a big nothing for the rest of the season. If you could throw Damian Harris and Julio Jones,
I wouldn't. If you can get away with that,
that's borderline highway robbery.
That's highway robbery.
I would do that in a second. So try to do that.
Like, if you're trying to sell Julio on, he'll return, he'll be back soon, and AJ Brown is banged up, like, maybe. If the owner wants to go for it, I say pounce. I never expect to be able to fleece anybody in a trade, and not that I try to either. But if somebody wants Julio,
no, I'm never trying to fleece anybody in the trade. I'm trying to throw out the most equal, best for everybody in their trade. But sometimes they'll hit you back with a counter.
You can't refuse.
A counter that's just so good, where I would have never asked for this, But if this is what you want, then I'm cool with it. How can we make this work? So I do come across that a fair amount. But yeah, we always try to throw out fair trades. Don't be that guy habitually throwing out studs for duds trades and seeing if you can win big, because those guys become the butt of jokes in leagues pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, William, you were hype on Juwan Man's performance week 1. Yeah. Hey, I was too. I think we put out like 3 different videos in the span of a month on Juwan Man Johnson within the first 3 weeks of the season, because we were hyped too. We were like, what's going on with Troutman? But this Juwan Johnson guy that we've never heard of, who is this guy?
He looks good.
And is he gonna continue this? And I mean, he hasn't, but now he has a good chance to do so out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance, and I like the fact that he has that dual eligibility. So yeah.
And then real quick, just to Drew said he's in agreement with you about dropping P-Ryan.
Yeah.
So I'm not, but there you go. A little bit of I'm blanking on the word, but a little bit of credibility to your take.
Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Smokey the Cat.
Smokey the Cat.
Pick 2: Bateman, Josh Jacobs, Pollard.
Jacobs, and with a healthy Lamar,
Bateman. Yep. I
If
like Pollard
Lamar's
a lot.
out again, what's the deal with Lamar? Not that we're probably going to get any practice. It's Tuesday, so
I don't know. I haven't heard anything on Lamar's status.
If Lamar is healthy, Bateman. If he's out, and we at least have tomorrow. This is true because Pollard plays on Thursday, so this makes it a little bit more difficult. Keep an eye on the practice reports, Smokey the Cat, on Lamar Jackson. If it's like Lamar returns to practice or Lamar's feeling better or whatever, because it was an illness, right? He was sick, reportedly.
Hold on, keep talking. I gotta handle some.
What? Okay. If the Wednesday practice reports are Lamar returns to practice, Lamar's feeling better, anything that's like clearly trending up, it's good news for Lamar. Bateman. If the practice reports open with like Lamar still sitting, Lamar not feeling well, Lamar, the vibes are bad, you can pivot to Pollard, but I would rather play Bateman. But I need a healthy Lamar in order to do that. So Bateman and Jacobs. I think John is in agreement with me on that, and he's
but keep going.
He's working on something. That's okay. We've got only a few other comments in the chat right now, and we are coming up on 2 hours, so this might be coming to an end somewhat shortly, but we'll obviously make sure we finish these up. Richie, which defense would you pick this week? Cowboys, Eagles, or Bears are available? So this is a stat that I actually just looked up and didn't realize. So I think Big Colin, you were asking about a defense stream as well. I think you were between the Eagles and maybe the Bears. I was a little bit more bullish on the Eagles because they get the Giants are not a scary matchup this week, and they get the Jets next week. But the Bears might be getting is Khalil Mack coming back? Even if he's not, the Bears have the Bears don't have Khalil Mack. They've got 10 sacks in the past 2 games, and that's without Khalil Mack playing. Bears get the Lions, so I might actually say like a slight edge to you know what? I think I said this the same exact thing to Big Colin to your question about the defense stream. Edge to the Bears this week. Edge to the Bears this week playing the Lions. But if you're trying to look like if you want to play like with a 2 to 3 week window in mind, then the Eagles, because the Bears have the best matchup of these 3 playing the Lions. The Eagles don't have a bad matchup though. They have a favorable matchup going up against the Giants, but then they get the Jets next week. They do have their bye week after that, but then they get Washington twice and the Giants again. So the Eagles are looking good for not just the next couple of weeks, but the fantasy playoffs. So Richie, Bears this week, slight edge. But if you're looking to play the long game with your defense, the Eagles. And they are absolutely viable this week against the Giants.
I agree with that. The Eagles defense is one to absolutely chase. Absolutely. Sorry, I'm still.
But if you're trying to play for, if you're playing for just this week, you might lose out on the Eagles if you opt for the Bears this week. But if you're playing for just this week, then slight edge to the Bears. Like Jared Goff is Tim Boyle. It doesn't matter. The Lions are awful. And the Bears have been producing sacks without Khalil Mack. So they've been getting it done. B, what's going on? Juwan Johnson worth a pickup with Adam Troutman hurt the next few weeks. And who's your other tight end? Because in deep leagues, like, yeah, sure. I'm not sure I'm ready to go there in shallow leagues because I don't think you play him this week against the Bills. He does get the Jets coming up, so that's favorable. And he gets this week is they play on Thanksgiving. They're playing the Bills. The Bills are like a bottom 3 or 4 matchup against tight ends, so I'm not playing Juwan Johnson this week. The next couple of weeks, Juwan Johnson could be viable because the Cowboys and the Jets are favorable matchups against tight ends. So I guess, like, who is your tight end that you're working with where you would consider picking up Juwan Johnson? That would be the question I asked before I automatically move on, before I automatically move on trying to pick up Juwan.
Yo, I gotta end this soon and handle something that came up.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. Sorry to cut this one short. Everybody that's in here.
Some come up. All right, you gotta you gotta do your thing really quick. There's three things in here.
Yep.
Chenault, Cedric Wilson, MVS this week. PPR pick 2.
MVS is probably the best bet, I would think.
MVS is probably a good bet,
work with,
and
with
Chenault
Agnew
should
out,
get extra work without Agnew in there. So yeah, it's still early on this one, DFS, because both of those guys. I'm not advocating for Cedric Wilson, unless CeeDee Lamb is out, then maybe. But even then, I think I would rather play give me a shot for a big play with MVS, and Chenault, especially in PPR, should be much more viable without Agnew. Mark, oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, if you can get away with throwing Harris and Julio for Miles Sanders, do that. But I don't want to give up Brandon Ayuk either. I don't want to give up Ayuk or Mooney in that deal. And then Justin, last question here: would you throw OBJ in if Lamb can't go, or Jacoby Myers? Probably Myers, just because the Titans are a favorable matchup for opposing wide receivers. Mac Jones is playing really well right now. I am intrigued by Odell with the Rams, and after the bye week, maybe he gets a bit of a boost with that extra week of learning the playbook. He's going to be needed with Robert Woods being out. But for now, Mac Jones is playing very well. The Patriots are playing well right now overall. The Rams are not. The Rams have some things to figure out. So before we throw any of them outside of Cooper Kupp or Darrell Henderson into our lineups, let's see how they do coming out of the bye week. So to that point, if Lamb can't go, Myers. The matchup is good. Titans give up lots of points to wide receivers. But that's going to do it. John's got to go, so we're going to shut this down.
Sorry to cut this one down on short notice, guys. Thanks for everybody tuning in with all your questions. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. If you got any more, throw them in the comments, and we'll get to them as we can throughout the night.
We can get to any comments if they come in. But, yeah, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Everybody have a great night, and everybody have a fantastic holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy early Thanksgiving. Enjoy the 3-game slate.
Absolutely. See y'all.
And we'll see y'all back here on Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern.